Turned on the wrong computer.
All right, we should have some data bits flying in the general direction of Twitch.tv. Hi, Twitch. Maybe you can hear us this week.
Hi, Candy Pants. Markdown. MD stands for Markdown,
All
which
right.
I use on a daily basis.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We were just talking about, getting older, using the wrong monitors with the PCs,
Yeah.
and we're like, what's going on? It's crazy. It's insane. We got some things for you today. It's middle of the week. Talk about some of the Linuxy things that we find interesting, because Dillo's back, like, right before the show.
Yay!
Dumbest idea in the world. What are you going to do? You got the studio computer up, and you got all the networking stuff, the
You gotta
IP video,
compile
and you're
it.
like, yeah, might as well just try to compile a browser real quick before the show, but we managed to pull it off.
We sure
We're going to be
did.
talking about that. I'm going to tell you about the desktop. I didn't stutter. And
Yeah.
Libra ELEC on the Raspberry Pi 5. That's exciting for you people that like the home video movie pixel bits.
Mm-hmm.
And Raspberry Pi has a way to reach out and connect over Wayland, but they made it real easy. Candy pants now more affordable than ever.
That's good, Steve Husband.
All right. Hey, everybody. How's it going? We live.
Yeah.
We usually get to it. It speaks to the level of punctuality.
Yes.
When it's like 3:02 and you're like, where's stream, man? Come on. Think about your other streamers. Like they show up for like 10 minutes, or they show up and like, hey, let's watch the about to begin for 10 minutes.
Yeah. We have a really good track record of being on time.
I show up. That's the one thing I
Yeah.
promised to deliver to people. I'm here. That's the best I can do. I can't make you any promises on talent, entertainment, or anything else. Knowledge, forget it. But I show up. You're like, hey, all right.
Oh, yeah, no bridge.
All right. Sounds like you should be pinging Strider or Jordan or somebody.
Yeah.
I'm just talent, man. I don't do any of the tech stuff on the Discord. It's out of my control, man.
I'll just ping Jordan.
I wouldn't ping Jordan. Jordan's at work.
Yeah. Okay. Strider. He's at home working.
There we go. All right, let me check. How's my level? Hello, I'm talking about my level. My level looks about where I want it to be. All right, got about 9 dB on that. Jordan busy. Told you.
Yeah.
So if you want your chats to show up,
So I,
head over to Twitch. Problem solved. Done.
Yay, Steve Husband. Good. I'm glad you posted your. He's so proud. He was so proud of himself, Ben, because he made a animated GIF from some video I took.
Made an animated GIF.
Yeah.
Was that you, Steve? Just walking around confusing people?
Yes.
Like, why you got a bird? You look like Radagast, who's like went on a pretty strict diet. That's what I'm thinking about. Who were you supposed to be? Just a peasant with a bird problem? Get some Shaolin monk. Shenraps. Got a lot going on there, my man.
Yeah, he did a great job. He sure did.
Oh, he shaved his beard?
Well, he had shaved it a little bit a few weeks ago, but it's kind of grown out. It's just a different color now. Oh,
No shave.
It's whiter. It's just whiter. Oh, we're getting older. Yeah.
There we go. One day I'll start getting my gray hair. That's how it works, though. It's always that stuff you want never shows up.
Yeah.
Costume savers. All right. I think we got everything punched in.
Okay.
Next year. Yeah, Katana, I'm waiting. Yeah, we'll get going in just a few minutes here. Well, I'm glad that you had fun and you and Joe got to go to the Renaissance.
Yeah.
The Ren Fair.
That's always fun. We used to go several times a year, but we just didn't have time. I love all the costumes and the food, and I enjoy watching jousting. We didn't do that this time, but because we did last time, we kind of do it every other time. We do watch one of the jousting events because those are so cool.
Right on.
And they have a bird, the birds with the bald eagle training in the arena. It's really cool. That's really cool.
I play around with the raptors.
Yeah.
There we go. We got that little update taken care of. And boom. All right. Looking good.
Yay. Cool, Vin. I'm glad you got it up and running.
And I wonder if this no, probably not. Tabs. We take things like that for granted. You know, tabs.
Yeah, it does support tabs. Let me see. I've got...
All right.
I used to have it set up on my older computers where, you know, I set up specific keyboard shortcuts for myself for the tabs and the different functions.
Oh, no wonder I can't get there. There we go. Oop. Yeah, built pretty quick. I had it on like, I didn't run Make J24 because I had all this other stuff running for the show. But yeah, I did, maybe a minute and a half. Not too bad. Of course, you got to download a dev pack that you probably don't have installed.
FLT.
Yeah, FLTK. Yeah, and that's like 50 megs, and the browser itself is like 4. Oh. Keep that in mind. Yeah, right. Yeah, when you think about building Firefox. No. This has been a while. Or Chromium.
Yeah, the other one that used to get used a lot, that was around, that came out around the same time as Dillo, is NetSurf. That was that's another really good browser, lightweight. Yeah, the Fastlight toolkit.
Yeah, I don't know. Like with browsers, or to build. Yeah, like I don't live in a world where I have time to build browsers anymore. That was a long time ago. That curiosity is over and done with. I'm like, just give me a download. Try to run them all. The reasonable ones. But I mean, hey, you can run all the browsers these days, everybody. It's all Chromium all the way down. Then there's Firefox. That's about how you got to rock and roll. All right, Joe, you about ready?
Yeah, let me go take a quick break, and then I will be ready.
All right. Let me get that. And what else? Did Sony, did anybody keep track of the Helldivers thing? The drama? We talked about that on Linux Gamecast on Saturday, where Sony's like, hey, that thing that we said that we were going to enforce, that's like been on the Steam page since game launched. We're going to cut that on. Internet lost its mind. That was fun to watch. There's always a interesting time with a video game drama. But what ended up, Sony had to retract. Like, hey, we're not going to enforce it. I'm like, all right. So, we did it, Reddit. You got to think about what was the actual cause of that. But what do? You ring up your buddy and you're like, hey man, how does this really play out? Somebody that's got experience with the PSN. And I'm like, what's the deal behind all this? And they tell you, they're like, GDPR. Like, wait, what? GDPR. Once you get over a certain amount of users in something, you got to be GDPR compliant, which is different in California and different states in the United States, different in the EU. Guess where that's all built in, where people can request to have their information returned or deleted and all that. That's all built into the PlayStation Network. So somebody on the Helldivers team gets to spend the next month writing that from scratch and implementing it. Also, I'm sure Sony wanted to boost their numbers and everything else, but that's going to be interesting. I've never played Helldivers. I watch people play it. It's like we played Fireteam Elite, and Pedro and Jordan really locked onto that game. I said, yeah, it's a good time. I was like, yeah, it's all right. I kind of felt like that watching other people play Helldivers. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not against it. It'd be like an idle game for me. It didn't seem involved enough. Maybe it is. I could still be missing dynamics from it. These are all things that are absolutely possible. Here we go. All right, how am I doing on drink? I'm doing all right on drink. Oh man, I'm looking at the terminal output from that Dello browser. It's not happy. It's not happy. Stay tuned. I like playing with friendly fire. If you ever watch any of our streams, and there's a game where we can enable friendly fire, like Quake, I always go ahead and put that on. Because I love people getting angry at me for running in front of me and getting themselves killed. Then just turning around and killing me. I forgot when we finished the Quake 2. We finished Quake 2 using those Steam controllers. I forget who it was that showed up. One of the members in Chat Realm and Discord, they popped in to help us out, and I lost track, dude. Dude killed me with a railgun like 9 times. Back for Blood. Back for Blood could have been good. Back for Blood could have been good. I mean, it's a better love story than Redfall, though, right? Arcane Studios was getting ready to push out their big patch to fix Redfall, and Microsoft was like, bye. Can't say I blame them, though. And my Back for Blood. I mean, they messed up the in-game. They never implemented the multiplayer that made Left 4 Dead really dope, which was special infected versus players. Maybe I'm alone, but that was my favorite mode because you could get 4 people in, then you could just invite 4 more people to play the special, and that was a really fun mode. But yeah, it just never took off. We played all the way through it, I think, and me and Jordan did. And a bunch of people throughout that run popped in and out. I mean, it was nothing special. So I guess meh is accurate. I don't have any hate towards it, but it could have been better, and they pulled the plug on it. It's like they couldn't figure out what it wanted to be. It had a card mechanic.
Mm.
That doesn't work. That doesn't work in a first-person shooter, man. I mean, you could pretend it did. It did. All right, let's get rocking and rolling, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, that. I'm going to press the... It's not even a big red button, but it's a red button. You got to have a red button. Let me see. Okay. There we go. There we go. Starting to get warmer. So we're really going to be putting the Noctua NHP1 under its real test in the upcoming months.
Oh, yeah.
If we get any weird glitches or anything, that's what we're going to blame. All right. Not saying it's at fault. That's just the easiest thing to blame for the time being. All right. Let's get there. Hey everyone, welcome back to Linux Weekly, daily Wednesdays where we sit back, relax, take that mid-week break, talk about some of the fun things going on in the world of Linux and open source. I'm Vince Stone, joined every week by Jill Bryant. Everybody watching us live in the pre-show, how's it going? You can come check us out every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, right here on Twitch. You can probably find it. You got to do that at TV. Every now and then I forget. Like, just have senior moments. I'm like, twitch.com. I'm like, that's not Twitch. /Linux Gamecast. Bunch of stuff to talk about this week. We got an old blast from the past browser that kind of works. We compiled it right before the show just to show it off to you. A new desktop called the desktop, just because that's not going to get confusing. And 2 bits of really good news for the Raspberry Pi. But before we get started, Jill did a photographical essay of sorts from your trip to the Ren Fair, where did people smell accurate? They never get the smell quite right.
Actually, yeah, there was smell of patchouli and whatnot in the air. So Steve Husband and I actually, yes, we went to the Renaissance Pleasure Fair here in LA last Sunday, and we had a wonderful time. I actually put a lot of pictures of our trip in our Discord chat. And something really cool happened. So Steve actually wore a costume that he put together. It is a peasant outfit with a very unique and whimsical twist. He wore a bird's nest on top of his head, complete with real twigs and painted eggs, and a fake crow that he engineered to flap its wings. And he was actually the talk of the Shire, and many people took pictures with him, and he would say, or would exclaim to the people around him, "It's not a hat, I just haven't bathed." And the other thing he would say is, "I fell asleep under a tree and woke up a little fuzzy-headed." And many people were coming up with some very, very clever jokes back, and calling him everything from a bird brain to, there is a nest upon your head. that was used quite a bit. But one of my favorite ones was when he said, "I fell asleep under a tree," and a wench exclaimed, "Well, the yoke's on you." That was it was just a magnificent costume that stood out in a crowd of 20,000 people, and I'm just so proud of him. He was the talk of the event, and we had people coming up to us and saying, "Oh, I saw your hat in the distance, just wanted to tell you how amazing it is and how fun it is." And this was a big deal for my husband because he's been going to Ren Fair since the 1970s, and this was his first year he dressed up. I've dressed up many times, but this was my husband's first time. So I'm just so proud of him. So if you're a patron, make sure to go in our Discord chat on look at the Sunday, and you'll see lots of pictures of my husband as a bird brain. And there's something else happening today, Ven. It just kind of came upon me real quick. Well,
Well, I'm looking in the show notes, and you're like, I'm a year older, and I'm like, yeah, okay, it'd be a lot. What are you going to say? I'm like 5 years older.
No. Yeah. So yeah, it's my birthday today. I am a year older. I'm in my mid-50s, so but I'm a year older as of today, and I don't feel older. So that's good. But the only thing I was sad about is my husband couldn't be home today. We had thought about, maybe doing a Disneyland trip today, but he just had to work too long today and
Aw.
too hard. So this weekend we're definitely going to be doing something.
Maybe you guys can go ahead and get some chicken in celebration of that hat.
Oh yeah, there we go. Some crow meat.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was the other thing he used. He goes, I just need my frying pan now. It's like eggs are just about to hatch.
Nerds.
Yes, nerds.
Ladies and gentlemen, this morning I went and checked, and I'm like, hey, look, they showed up. What's that thing? This thing. Look at that. It's next to a battery. What is that? It's a square. It's a square next to a battery. What type of battery? An Amazon Basics rechargeable, because why would you not have rechargeable batteries in 2024? It boggles my mind when I see somebody buy a pack of alkaline batteries. And I'm like, dude, I buy a set of rechargeable batteries maybe once every 6 years and I'm good. So it's pretty small. It's about a quarter height of a AA battery. This is the best to scale I had in the studio. And
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 AA's lengthwise. So we go to the next one. You see what it is. Da-da-da. This is the HPLE desk.
Yes.
And you're like, yeah, whatever. It's a little micro PC, whatever. This thing's got a Ryzen 2400G in it.
Yeah, Ryzen 5.
It's not ancient. Now I have to look up. I want to poke this thing with Linux. Why? Because I got a bunch of questions. I went Googling for them, and I'm like, why? This is another like ARC A3 ARC situation. I'm like, why is no one documenting this stuff? And, just a bunch of things I want to find out about it, what you can get away with doing, because this is a real PC, man. I mean, AM4 they released 2 new CPUs for AM4,
Yeah.
I know it's been around for a while. These things have gone on fire sale recently. And I didn't have a chance. I didn't even think about it until yesterday, and I never went back and looked it up. I'm like, the market's flooded with these. Everybody's got a billion of them, and they're cheap. This thing originally retailed for about $700. It wasn't just insanely expensive, but it's $700 for a mini PC. That's like Nook territory, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it's got Vega, integrated graphics, and I'm like, nah. Now they're like $100. What I'm guessing is like companies dump these because, it's HP. Like, why would a company dump these? I do not know. Before the end of the show, somebody might be able to look this up in chat and be like, well, actually, then. And I'm like, cool. My working theory that I've not checked is what do you want to bet you can't install Windows 11 on these?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like the TPM nonsense or something weird like that. That's the only thing I can think, because the market is flooded with these.
Yeah.
Like, it's got 8 gigs of memory RAM in it. They're upgradable to 16. They got SSDs. Some of them have NVMe. I hadn't even cracked it open. It just showed up. I took a picture of it. I don't even know if it cuts on. Let's hope it cuts on. Why? Because I'm waiting on some testing equipment that I've ordered.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going down that road, kids. Buckle up. Stay tuned to interfacinglinux.com, where you can always find, there's a ongoing thread called just upcoming projects in the general forum, if you want to keep track of like things that just show up. May or may not do a video. Like, there's stuff in there that I haven't gotten around to yet. But you're like, hey, when are you going to get around to that? And I'm going to be like, shrug emoji. I don't know. That's what I got going on. Let's go ahead and hop into what caused me to compile a web browser in the pre-show.
Yeah, Van, that was cool.
Morbid curiosity.
Yeah, so it has been nearly 9 years since one of my favorite open source lightweight web browsers has been released. Dillo! Wow, do you remember that name? So Dillo 3.1 is out, and there hasn't been a release since version 3.05 in June of 2015. And Dillo doesn't support all frames. It does support some, not all frames, embedded media playback or JavaScript, and viewing most of the modern web. But it can be installed and run on very old hardware, like several of my 486s that I have. Dillo was great on those machines. And Dillo is actually the browser of choice for several very small Linux distros, such as Darn Small Linux. I'm not going to say the real name at the beginning. It's Darn Small Linux. So
why don't you just get the hat and wear it for half the show?
Yeah, I didn't get the hat out, my DSL hat out this time. But Dillo is actually written using the Fastlight toolkit, and version 3.1 has several new features and bug fixes, including support for transport layer security, which is the successor to SSL, support for floating HTML elements, it has an improved manual with new additions, and more configuration options, including support for min width, min height, and max height. And you can switch tabs using the mouse wheel by default now. I'm really happy about that.
It's got tabs. Yep.
Yeah. It sure does. And oh boy, Ven, I remember installing Dillo on my Pentium Pro and my Pentium 3 back in the late 90s, 1999, and on my 486s. I mean, I had it on every machine, and it was a great way to get those old machines up and running and viewing the internets and looking at web pages and doing rating and such.
I gotta think, like, if I had a vintage computer collection, I would only run period-appropriate operating systems on them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, now...
which means I would be running Netscape Communicator on them? Why? Because that's the browser you used back in the 90s on Linux if you needed to browse the web?
Yeah.
We were talking about that in the pre-show. I'm like, there's always been, like, these offshoot browsers, and, like, Dillo's always been around. I mean, you know, like Mosaic and things like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why we, like, jumped on, like, Netscape and Firefox and Chromium, and, like, it's kind of went crazy, but I want to give you a little demonstration.
Yes.
A little demonstration. Okay, we got the 9 to 5 Linux. All this is going to be linked in our show notes. So this is what it looks like on Chrome Beta. That's what it's running on right now. Well, let's go ahead and switch over to the Dillo version.
Nice.
Workable.
Clean, easy to read.
Ish. I mean, we can kind of, that's as far as we can zoom in.
Yeah.
Wait, never mind. It doesn't zoom at all. That's just scrolling. Never mind.
There's Ubuntu 24.04 Numbat.
And if we want to go over to interfacinglinux.com, well,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
might be a bit knackered. Now, Jill said, let's go to Google first.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Googs. All right.
See? Google's good about working on older browsers.
Duck, quack. Can we go to DuckDuckGo? Kinda?
Oh, yeah. There's a search bar up there. Yeah, I think that's been the same. Yeah.
Hey, there we go. Oh, man. Let's do the blast. Let's go to
Live in production on the show.
/.org. /. Still works. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go, everybody. So go check it out. It's easy to get set up. I genuinely, like, no joke, from just having we were just chatting about it, and I'm like, fine, whatever. I downloaded the source and gave it a compile, gave it an install. Maybe 5 minutes total.
Yeah.
That's even got a little compile script.
Yeah. So you just got to download it via Tarball from their GitHub page, and it can be compiled on whatever distribution you like. But you also have to download the dependency for the Fastlight toolkit. And, you know, it was like 50 megs.
I mean, it tells you right there. You're like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It tells you what you need.
It's in the Debian repo. So, you know, if you're running a Debian-based distribution, or if you're running Arch or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do Arch people know how to compile stuff? Who knows? I'm sure they'll let me know in the comments.
Yeah. No, usually they do, or they're learning how to.
Deathly afraid. No, every time I try to bring up, man, he's like, well, it's already available in the IOR repo, man. I'm like, yeah, but don't you want to know how to, like, build it?
Yeah, that's part of the fun. I remember when last version of Dillo came out, 3.05, and I built that. And it took quite a bit longer back then.
I just have the flashbacks to that rage comment I saw on Reddit about you stupid, smelly nerds. I just want a program I can download and run. I don't have time to be a software developer. I still think, even in 2024, if on your roadmap, on your Linux journey or whatever these people say, listen, if you want to run Linux, learn how to compile stuff. You don't have to be a software developer. I'm definitely not a software developer. Absolutely know how to compile stuff, because you're missing out on a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You are. And just being able to take something.
Yeah. How you learn the operating system.
Yeah,
and
build systems.
Learning how to use GitHub and all the repositories.
Right. It's all these extra skills that you pick up along the way. And that was, it still currently is, like, I'm trying to figure out thing Y, and I'm on step B. You're going to learn a lot of stuff to get there. And that should tell you whether or not Linux is the right operating system for you. If you look at that and you're like, oh, cool, I get to learn all this extra stuff. But if you're like, you stupid, smelly nerds, I just want to double click on a next button and thing and make the thing, like, stay away from Linux. We don't want you. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the desktop environment, because it's got a little guy in a circle, kind of like in front of him. He's waving. He's only got one arm. I feel bad for him. Little buddy.
I guess it's a ghost. It looks like a ghost.
Stay away from Jill's ghosts, because that's what they look like, kids. Go check out the video version if you want. We got a bunch going on here. Let's just go ahead and pull up some of these old screenshots. Nothing crazy on that one. We're just looking at screenshots, but we got to get over to the animated GIF, the animated GIF. Can I enlarge that for everybody to look at? This is kind of old school, because, you know, if you're sitting here in 2024 and you're thinking, man, visual memory centered skeuomorphism, it died in the 90s. No, it didn't.
Nope, there it is.
Some of you might genuinely work better with a pile of stuff on your desk, and this might be able to help you out. You know, it's like, I need stuff over here and I need stuff over here. This brings that back just a little bit. The desk, it's got a top bar, and when you mouse over it, it expands and basically becomes a virtual desktop switcher, as we're seeing in the video version. It's very difficult to explain how it looks, and it's very whooshy going from one virtual desktop to the other. And I said, you know, a couple of weeks ago, I personally don't use virtual desktops. A bunch of people in the YouTube comments are like, I live that life. And I'm like, that's cool. We can still hang out. Now, it does have a quick search function. They call it, well, he calls it, this is a one dude project. He calls it the, what is it? Gateway. Activates with a super button, you know, for your searches. And hey, it appears to even work on Wayland. Huh? I think that's pretty neat. I'm down with it. Dependencies, of course, it's done in Qt, and go for it. What is a gentleman's name? And it's integrated. You know, I love stuff like this, because this is just one guy's like, I'm going to build my little ecosystem. And it looks very well done. Victor Tran, you know, us V's got to stick together. Jill's been muted for a while for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, I guess I sneezed.
Talking up a storm, man. Nobody heard you.
Oh, good.
What were you
good.
on about?
See, that was the point. So no one would hear me sneeze. No, it's just so nice to have another lightweight window manager to play with. As a lot of you out there know, my favorite X window manager is Window Maker. So I like lightweight, and this is nice because it's lightweight, but it has a lot of modern features, and you know, it's actually focused on getting work done and visually getting out of your way, so you can just use your apps. And those of us who use Linux in production, that's what we want out of our desktops, is just to be able to, you know, when we want the desktop to get out of the way so we can focus on our apps. And you know what, Vin? The desk layout looks similar to the awesome window manager. That's what it immediately reminded me of, because you use the toolbar at the top. It's the way you switch between the virtual desktops and everything. It had some similarities to it, although, you know, very different.
Like, I'm looking at it like it could use with like maybe 20% less whoosh. But I get the idea that they're going for. Which is kind of
cool.
But, you know, if you're of certain age, and you might have watched like LGR do the like old Microsoft, they had that idea of like, hey, this is, you know, when I say skeuomorphism, I'm like, your Wikipedia is a book or whatever on your desktop, and
Yeah,
you collect that, and your movie's a film camera, and you know, this isn't really like, but it's in the same vein of like, hey, let's keep things organized on a shelf.
Yeah,
and you move back and forwards, and like, I don't know, go check it out. I thought I'd give this a mention since we're going down like random off kilter desktops as of late. I'm like, hey, this is you just recently got an update, and it may or may not work with that Wayland if you want, like, you know, to run all of your X11 applications with a bunch of extra steps thrown in.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about LWDW.
Yeah. So I never quite know. I pronounce it LWDW. So yes, the LWDW, which is the Kodi home theater based Linux distribution for embedded devices, has a new version out with some very major new features. LWDW 12 with the Linux 6.6 long-term support kernel has been released and now supports the Raspberry Pi 5 single board computer, which a lot of people in the Linux community have been waiting for, including myself. That was always one of the options with the Raspberry Pi OS ISO, and it gives you that option when you boot up your Raspberry Pi. So now you will have that with the Raspberry Pi 5 and 4. And it is also based on the latest Kodi 21 Omega Media Center software. And LWDW 12 also supports HDR on home computers running recent AMD and Intel GPUs. Way to go, LWDW. And to install it, you have to manually update to the new version, which isn't very hard. And there are instructions available and linked in our show notes. So I wanted to give this a quick shout out because LWDW is one of the favorite OSs for the Raspberry Pi because it's just a great little media center computer.
Well, that's what they say. Just enough OS for Kodi.
For Kodi, yeah.
I don't know who this Kodi character is, but I'm glad he doesn't require much operating system. Yeah, I mean, if this is your jam, that's good. Like, I mean, it's working on your Pi 5.
Mm-hmm.
If you bought a Pi 5, and you're like, hey, there we go. And it works on your Pi 4. It's 64-bit operating system now, so you should be good and go. And I haven't played around with Kodi. I tapped out back in the day with Myth TV, and I just don't watch TV anymore. Like, it's, I want to say it's gotten bad, but it's gotten good, right?
Yeah.
There's only like maybe the occasional show I love. I was a super early adopter of the Replay TV than a TiVo.
Yeah.
Because I love the idea of being able to, not even saving shows. I don't even think I ever messed around with that so much. Just to be able to just pause the thing and get up and go do something else and come back and unpause it. And that is carried on later in life where, I have there's no FOMO anymore. Like, I'll get around to watching something, and what that's turned into is like, I just start doing all this other stuff. And, you want to roll, hey, we got Netflix at home, or like with this Kodi Media Repository, go for it, do it, save your stuff locally. You do you. I was happy to see that.
Yeah.
Lebra Elk. And yeah, it's got the wind, what is it called? Windive or?
Oh, Widevine.
Widevine, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got that set up, ready to go, so you can, watch your Netflixes and stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah. And that's what I've used it for recently, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's like all the Netflix, that's what I was thinking.
Services.
Right, all the streaming, Amazon, tablets. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Tablets, Android. You say what you will about me. That's just where I'm at with streaming. I'm like, I got a Netflix app. I got my Amazon Prime Video thing app, whatever it's called. Got my HBO app. That's just how I do it. Because it's not that big deal for me. Like, I still have my old plasma big screen TV. Never gets cut on.
Yes, you do.
I'm perfectly happy because how do I consume media on a 10-inch tablet, like over here somewhere?
Yeah.
While I'm doing something else. Like, I like the idea of like stopping and just doing new. I'm too squirrely for that these days, but let's go ahead and stay on the Raspberry Pi train because
something cool down the pipeline.
Dude, you got to think about it, man. Say you needed to get back to your Raspberry Pi. You're out and about, and you're like, man, I need to log into my Raspberry Pi 5. You're like, okay, traditionally, Like up until very recently, what did you have to do? Man, you had to call up your butler and bug him. Be like, hey man, I need you to come. And nobody's butler is like really technically literate. And if you're a technically literate butler, I'm sorry. My apologies. And like walk through and set it up, just do the thing for me. It was a big hassle. No, you got to worry about it. Those days are over, kids. Don't even think twice about it. This is Raspberry Pi Connect with the switch to Wayland, Raspberry Pi OS, Bookworm, X Remote. Didn't work anymore. All right. You needed something to do. This is your something to do. Sudo apt install RPi-connect. WebRTC under the hood. It's hitting a turn server over in the UK. That's needed for the connection. Well, if it's needed for the connection. And all it needs is a Raspberry Pi 5, Raspberry Pi 4. You can even do it on the Pi 400.
Yeah.
And Connect has the ability to list all of the Pis that linked with your Raspberry Pi ID if you need to do management. Really straightforward. That was their goal here. They're like, we just need to make this as friction-free as possible for you out and about to be able to log in to your Raspberry Pi with a GUI desktop, to which, I'm on the team in the audience of like, SSH, what are you logging into something with a GUI on it? That's a Raspberry Pi, man. What are you doing? Like, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of people use VNC on the Raspberry Pi.
Like, what are you doing on I go down the spiral of questions of like, why do you have a Raspberry Pi running unattended in an X or a Wayland session? Doing what? Do you just not know? But I mean, it's there. And log in, play around with it if you want. I don't think I've ever like graphically remoted into anything professionally. SSH all the time. It's always VPN then SSH. Like into a GUI. I don't tangle with anything derpy enough to have to mess with a GUI.
Oh, I did when I've been troubleshooting, friends and family's computers. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But this is what's cool is, the Raspberry Pi Connect, it from what people have said, it's working really well, even though it's still in beta. So do expect some bugs. And once again, this is brilliant. And a Raspberry Pi at their best. It's easy in with a few clicks and easy out. So that's one of the reasons why the Raspberry Pi is the top single board computer. The community is wonderful, and their apps and their manuals are perfect. They're awesome. Yay!
Yeah, and if you're wondering about like Raspberry Pi Connect, their turn server, they're like, we don't know if we're going to charge you for this yet. So just go ahead and make sure you get dependent audit, then we can charge you for it.
Yeah. I'm sure they would only charge if it was like a business. You need to get a business license or something.
I'm reading from them. They're like, we don't know how much we're going to charge people for this.
Yeah.
They didn't say anything about business. And
that is true. Yeah.
Kind of keep that in mind. You can roll your own. They're not doing any. I mean, this is when I say just friction free. This is like, if you don't want to be bothered, you just need to log in. You can do this. Maybe they're going to. I don't. There's no business model for this because it's just a turn server.
Yeah.
This is something you can do yourself, and like anybody's going to bounce off that. But like, if you want that little turnkey solution, like Jill said, it's a nice little pack-in that you probably never need to use, but it's there.
Yeah.
That's one of those things. Like I genuinely can't get through my head. Leave me a comment on the YouTube video or the Odyssey or wherever you're on the Patreon post.
Yes.
Like, give me this use case where you need to remote. All right, no, let's roll this back. Why do you have a Raspberry Pi up and running, unattended, logged into a GUI, a graphical user session? Like, what is it doing? Be real here. I don't want your fanfic. And then give me a reason that you have that, why you need to log in and do something to it, why it's unattended. I'm curious. I'm not calling you out. I genuinely want to know.
Curious, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to thank you for showing up, hanging out, and doing the thing. I got to think, a brand new patron, never heard of this person before, no idea who they are, completely out of the blue. I'm talking about you, Frosty.
Frostclaw. He's back.
Showed up in Discord. He's like, I'm back. And I'm like, hi. How's it going?
Frosty.
Welcome back. If you want to support what we do, this is how we fund it. Don't do it with ads. I don't track your data. I don't even track your downloads on the podcast, man. Go check that out. There's no tracking there. Just boom, just take my money. Here, have fun with it. Go do it. Patreon.com/Linux Gamecast. That is the umbrella thing for Linux Gamecast and weekly, daily Wednesdays and all the gaming stuff that we've been up to for the past 12, 13, 14 years. I don't know. It's been for a minute, man. But of course, we got that over at linuxgamecast.com. Bunch of different ways. We got Amazon wish lists.
Yes,
Those are
we do.
a horribly bad idea. If you want to get Jill something for a birthday, click on the Jill thing. Send in a note. We'll read it on air. Jordan's got one. Pedro's got one. I got one for the studio. That's how you end up in this blinking wall of fiscal irresponsibility behind me. We got a merch store, Amazon storefront. If you're curious about what's in the studio, click that button. It just takes you don't have to buy it on Amazon. Go buy it anywhere you want. But if you're just like, hey, what's that thing? That's what that thing is. And of course, we have LibrePay, PayPal, and a bunch of different ways for people to help us out. But if you currently do, you're awesome. You make this possible. You're the real MVPs. And that's why your name's in the credits now.
Yes.
Speaking of credits.
And here's our wonderful patrons in the credits, our advisors, Omegas and Artherin. And our executive producers, Barbrant, Scott M., Atomic, Mike G., David, Chicago Kicks People, Empty, Blasphemia, King Bond, Super Dust Stout, Sea Monsters, Truck Gills, Veritanuda, Justin, Hakeem, David, Darkwing, Death Notes, Rue, Turnover, Ogiwan, M. Foxton, Swine, Piper, our chairlings, I can barely read these, Nick, Jason, Jolly,
Ho, ho, ho. We're all jolly. Hey, thanks for showing up, everybody. Come check it out and all the other fun stuff. And if you get a chance, head over to Interfacing Linux. Keep an eye on what we're going to get up to with that HP Ryzen. And is this going to be a really good deal or not? I hope it is.
I'm
Honestly,
excited.
I don't even know if it cuts on. I know Joe's like, I'm thinking about buying one. I'm like,
yeah.
let old man Ven poke it a few times. Because
Yes.
I really have this dream of this is going to do all this cool stuff that might just go. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Love you all. Yeah, Strider, I said Chicago Kicks People because I can't say the last.
I'm going to close you now, Dillo.
Yeah, Dillo did a great job.
Dillo even warns you if you're trying to close more than one tab. Isn't that adorable?
Yeah, isn't that cool? I always liked its bookmark system. It's just so simple. I still have my list of my early bookmarks on Dillo that I had exported. Chicago Kicks Donkeys. Oh yeah, that's a good one, Artherin. Thank you. I can say that. Our Chicago Kicks Donkeys level.
What did you write, Inertia? Mini forums, a USB-C high hertz. All right. Well, I do have a USB-C 60 hertz, one of those on this table, not plugged in. I've been trying to find a use for it. I had a use for it, but then I engineered my way around needing that monitor. 'Cause my brain's always focused on consolidation and making things, more efficient. I can't help it.
Yeah, Strider, you didn't make a joke about Dillo. Aw. Armadillo. Short for armadillo. Yeah, I know. Dillo.
What do you mean? Are you talking about the monitor you linked? What are you... Monitor capable what?
Oh, hey, Inertia. Oh, yeah, I knew what you were thinking about, Strider. I know.
Oh, it's a tablet thing. All right, that makes more sense. It's $1,100. Yeah, that's cool. Cool story. My Mac's for half $1,000. I'll do 5. I'll do 8, and I'll be very unhappy if I have to spend $800.
Mm-hmm.
Looks nice though. Does it come with Linux pre-installed? 14-inch AMD. What's battery life though? That's another thing. Maybe I don't bring that up enough. One of the reasons I got that Samsung S6 tab, the reason I bring that with me as my daily driver is because it's got like a super chunky, like the Google Pixel. Like it's just all battery, man. I need something I can legitimately use for like 7 hours a day because I'm out and about. I'm not very good shut in at all. Like I like getting out of the house and going doing stuff. Thank you, Steve. I thought it was an okay show too.
Yeah. Aw. Thank you, hubby. Thank you for the happy birthday, and Strider. Thank you for happy birthday shout out, and Arthurian.
The shut bot working
Everyone
again.
else.
Strider, can you give me a command? Here's your feature request, homeboy. Give me a command and I can limit it to where only me, you, Pedro, and Empty can fire off the command that resets it on Jordan's server.
And thank you, Strider. I booped you in general, of course, about the Twitch bridge.
Right, let me make sure all the recordings are good. Yeah, I don't even know if that thing works. Like it generally showed up like 2 hours before the it's Wednesday, right? That's when mail shows up at my house.
Yeah.
I have no idea. We'll find out. Your animatronic bird. I thought crows are intelligent creatures. What's it doing on Steve then? Oh, you gonna take that, Steve? Where am I at?
Oh. Yeah, there's Empty. Yeah. Strider, yeah, thank you for booping Empty. I Ven had mentioned for me to boop you, and we knew you would boop other people if you didn't know.
I told everybody to start tapping on Twitch. I don't know why I'm getting thrown under the bus here. You get back and listen to the recording. I'll have it up in a minute. All right.
Oh yeah, Strider, we were thinking about you at Red Fair because I'm like, oh, we should have had Matthew with us to be the crow detector.
What would I dress Strider up as for the Renaissance Fair? Do
Strider.
I know? Do I got an idea? Maybe, what era? What was France going up during the Renaissance?
Yeah.
What was old Perry up to? You're getting white face paint no matter what.
Many years ago, Matthew was with us at Run Fair. We had Matthew and Mir.
Strumpet? Maybe Steve.
We had a big group of people. That was fun. We should do that again maybe next year. That would be fun to do another LGC trip to the fair. Yeah, Steve we couldn't really plan anything because we didn't know until last minute if we were able to go because he's been having to work so much. As it was, we were supposed to go the weekend before and didn't, and we were still not quite sure about last weekend, but we were able to make it.
I'm glad you guys were able to sneak it in.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm back to thinking I want to buy a 3D printer, though.
Aw.
I don't know which one to get.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make a thing. This is the problem. I don't want a 3D printer. I want to make a thing.
Oh, okay. You just want one specific thing.
Yeah, one of the requirements is got to be just good enough for me to make the thing and not so expensive that because I don't want a 3D printer. I'm going to give it to somebody. I want to make a prototype. Basically, I want to make something that'll make it easier to make sand molding so I can smelt something.
Oh.
And drop forge. Metallurgy. All right. Why does the bridge crash? Has anybody ever looked into that? Or is this just like year 6 of like, just restart it? I got stuff like that in the house, man. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Just restart it. I mean, Windows users are used to it. I just cut it off on again.
Yeah, in fact, I've been. Yeah, Lutra's bridge crashes very rarely. Yeah, that sounds about right, inertia.
I don't know. There's a couple of like relay services. I mean, I could swap it out to something. System D timer. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's not. Like, I'm not terribly concerned about it because I'm like, I can still read your chat. It doesn't show up on the screen. You want your chat to show up on the screen? Just go over to Twitch and type it in. Like,
Yeah.
like, yeah, like I can still read your chat. It just doesn't show up on the screen. It's not that big a deal.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Beautiful people. It's 4:00. What are you doing this afternoon, this evening? It's supposed to rain tonight? Come on.
Oh, wow.
We were done for rain for a minute. Not rain tonight.
Oh, you have some weather.
Well, it's that time. We have seasons on this side of this country.
Yeah. Well, at least you're not having tornadoes, so that's nice.
It's not tornado season. No, I feel bad for anybody that is.
Yeah.
I feel bad for everybody stuck living there. I have zero sympathy for everybody who chooses to. I'm not living in anywhere where they have the word tornado season.
Yeah.
Is in the forecast. I'm sorry. I'm a bit YOLO, but not quite. You know, same thing with like hurricanes. Like I would never live in Florida.
Yeah.
Right? Like places, there's certain places in Korea. I'm like, wouldn't live there either, man. And some of the southern islands in Japan, I'm like, if you're stuck there, you got my sympathy. But if you're like, I'm going there, I'm like, have fun. I want to hear a word about it. Yeah, it's starting to get back up into 30s.
Oh wow! I didn't realize it was that hot. Okay.
Dude, it can be like 28 degrees at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
But don't worry, it's only 80% humidity.
Yeah.
It's that nice sticky. I was talking about that on Saturday. We're almost to the point where the AC just gets cut on. There's that point going into summer every year where it just is cut on and it stays on and for 3.5, 4 months, however long it takes. Which is the expensive point. Wintertime, I'm great. Why? Because I like being cold. I don't like being hot.
Mm-hmm.
Emphasis on cold too. We're not talking about like I don't want to become. I want to be chilly, kids. I want to burr.
Ben is the originator of the term burr.
I'm just saying, man. Like I don't want. I want to. I just want a testament to the arrogance of mankind as I sit in my house drinking a piping cup hot heated tea boiling, going, it's chilly. Love it.
Yeah, Ben and I have talked like when I'm sleeping, I don't like it hot either because then you don't sleep well because you're overheating. So.
I don't sleep at all. My internal wake up is like 21 degrees. I'm like, what's going on here? Reach over, grab a tablet, pull up a thermostat, and I'm like, right. Cut you back down a little bit. There we go. I still have that Nest, the original Nest thermostat with like AI, air quotes.
Oh, okay.
And it's supposed to track like you going by it and when people are in rooms and stuff. Like it don't do any of that stuff, right? It don't. It would be better just to like leave it at a temperature and like try to maintain that. But I only have like 2 sensors in the house, which it's not accurate. So you're always like fussing with it, or you put it on that mode and you just kind of roll the dice with it. Yeah. Like wintertime's great, man. I like wintertime because my power bill is like low in the wintertime. I think I cut the heat on maybe 3 times. And it, like blipped it. I'll blip it in the morning before I go running. Like maybe for like
so you're kind of warmed up
5 minutes.
before you go.
Like just
Yeah.
5 minutes while I'm getting up, getting changed, getting ready to go outside. I gotta back off. Like I'm great rest of the day. I'm fine. But yeah, like sitting around like, ugh. So when you see those old movies, man, you like watch like people are in like full suits in summertime. I'm like, no. Radiators, PC servers, yeah.
Yeah,
I could always come
works.
in here, man.
Yeah, and big screens, lots of monitors.
Monitors put out tons of heat. People forget about that.
Yeah. I have one of the 49-inch ultra wides, and that thing it's hotter than this 43-inch. Puts out more heat.
Strider, I mean, just because you can't handle a little bit of a cold, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about the rest of the world, homie. It's all right. I like weather.
Yeah.
Weather's good. It's challenging. It's good for you. You want to have you're in the right place, dude. Look at it this way. You're in that perpetual, like, it's always this temperature.
Mm-hmm.
And every now and then it sprinkles a little bit and people lose their mind.
Yeah, I like consistent temperatures too, but at night, like I said, I do like it cooler at night. Especially since I've gotten older.
I like it cooler. I want to be like with a fan blowing on me too. It'll be 0 degrees.
That, I don't like wind or anything like that blowing on me. I just like air movement.
Oh,
so we always have windows open, when we're sleeping.
Nah, man, I gotta have that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it just knocks me right out. It's partially the sound, and I think part of it's like the air blowing over my ears. Like, you get that. I'm like, that's dope.
Yeah, no, that I understand.
Scott's in the right spot.
The white noise is nice.
I mean, if you like the cold, Canada's a pretty dope place to be. There's not many places in Canada where it's not like, like South Vancouver, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
It's about as warm as you're going to get. I don't know. I'm talking like I understand Canadian geography. I don't. I'm just making up words and sticking them together and assuming South is warmer. I don't know how things work in Canada.
Yeah, Strider, yeah. So, but I'm like Matthew. I like it. I like it warm during the day. I mean, here it's 68 to 70 almost always. So, which is about 18 to 20, Celsius. And I love it. But at night, I do like it a little cooler in the house. But not. My idea is cool is not cold compared to everyone else. Also, women have a tendency to get colder easier than men. And there is a physical reason for that.
No, there is. You have more nerve endings too.
Yeah.
Like biological reason.
Biological and more surface area.
Mm-hmm.
We have much more surface area. So.
Well, you might not. So, you're kind of short.
Yeah, I'm shorter.
More compact.
Yeah, I'm more compact, so it's not as.
I'm a big old radiator. I'm just stretched out.
Yeah, so women that are taller get colder easier. Like I don't get cold. In fact, that's honestly one of the reasons I'm probably short. Well, my family was Swedish, and yeah, people think Swedish people tall. Well, my family came from the area of Sweden that was really cold. And they were usually shorter. If you're in really cold weather.
You just come from a family of hobbits, Jill.
Yeah. But you know what? That's so weird, Vince. See, one side of the Swedish family is real short and the other side are giants. So we range. My grandmother was 4'8", and I have an uncle on the other side of the family who was 7 foot Swede. So
yeah, just average out.
So I got the short end of stick, but my brother, he's tall. He's big and tall. So we got the different sides of the family that go in there. It was funny. But
yeah, I see stuff
yeah.
like that in Inertia when you're talking like 42C. What is it? Alice Springs. I always see that on like if I'm watching Francois Cat, or France 24, well, like, you know, which is like one of those like 24-hour news things on YouTube, and they'll do like the world negative to Alice Springs, and it's always like in the 40s, dude. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I don't think have I? Not like where, you know, I've definitely been in like parking lot situations and like warehouse situations where it was like, or even data center situations where it was hot, but not just like standing temperature, right? Where it's just like, no, it's just like 42, 46. I'm like, no way, man.
42 Celsius. Oh my goodness gracious.
All right.
I bet that's surreal, Inertia. Oh my gosh.
But it's a dry heat. Uh-huh. And, yeah. I can live with it. As long as I have my modern niceties. I can get warm when I want to get warm. I can get cool when I get cold. That's why I don't complain a lot, man. I got power, water, and, you know, HVAC. I'm good. Give me some internet access and I'm content.
Yeah.
easy to keep occupied and pleased. Cool, everybody. We're going to call it. I'm going to go make a podcast. I'm going to the transmogrify all the data bits. And maybe I'll try to figure out what type of audio interface Strider was looking for.
Oh.
He posted something resembling a question in Discord yesterday. I'm not sure what it was. He was looking for like an interface that he doesn't have to plug into a DAW. And I'm like, well, you can plug this, you know, you use it with a DAW. He's like, no, I'm going to be using it with a DAW. And I'm like, whatever. We'll find out. But if you have any questions about your audio, video type stuff, well, there's a website for that, kids.
Yeah.
You can post it, and we can have a good old-fashioned conversation at your convenience and my convenience. You know, if I wanted to know some stuff about audio, I'd probably go to audio, then I'd go to hardware. I'd click that, and I'd ask like these other questions, like other people, like Joystick asked, and Mega Nitro, and Faraya, and Gerulio. I'll write you back. We can, and you can help. You can help, because unlike Discord, this will get indexed by search engines, and the next person that has this problem, they'll go, oh, look, there's the answer, and it won't get memory hold into Discord or wherever. Or IRC. IRC is just as bad, man. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Love you all.